the biggest mistake you're making as an entrepreneur is not building a personal brand, not a business brand, a personal brand. You're an authority, whether you like it or not. If you're in business, you're an authority, and it's time that you assume that position. Here's a sad and depressing truth. AI is right now today probably better than you at literally everything you do. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in or what your job is, because we've seen the data. AI from an IQ perspective and a proficiency perspective is going to beat you in terms of efficiency, speed, accuracy, intelligence, research. Proficiency is gone. AI ate it. We no longer have any fighting chance in the Colosseum of proficiency. That forum has been conquered. So what's left? Authority. As a matter of fact, authority just became infinitely more important. Instead of how we do what we do, the question that's going to be asked now is, what should we do in the first place? What's interesting to me, and what's actually really terrifying, is the onslaught of content that we're all exposed to on a daily basis. I remember when AI generated content first started being produced, and what was comforting about it was really bad. And you could see and read right through it. Like, you just spot it instantly, like, oh, that's an AI blog or that's an AI tweet. The thing that's terrifying is now not only is the AI content indistinguishable from human-driven content, but in most cases, AI is producing something better than I'd ever be able to produce myself. It's getting better and better and better on an exponential clip. There's now more content than any human being could ever possibly filter or begin to understand, especially given the fact that we have to engage with life along more categories than there is time to be an expert in. So what are we all doing? And you're seeing this happen right now today. You're seeing this happen actively. As a matter of fact, it's the reason you're watching me. We are all seeking authority because AI has yet to be an authority. Hopefully it never gets there. I think it depends largely on our ethos as human beings and who it is that we're willing to listen to. But at the moment, and I think for the generations that are sentient today, I believe that humans will continue to maintain their position of authority. I actually believe that you need to establish your position of authority. Now, that doesn't mean that you need a million followers or subscribers or, a massive list or huge events. It goes back to the thesis of 1,000 true fans, or it could just be 500 people that know you or 100 people that tune in. Depending on what it is that you do for a living and how it is that you want to establish yourself, you can be an authority on a micro niche. And to be honest with you, I think the niche authorities are going to be the more effective authorities. I bought a tripod the other day for one of my cameras. And what was interesting about it was there were more tripods available than I had time to review. So what did I do? I used to go to Google, go to Reddit, look at the reviews, and I just defaulted. There's somebody on YouTube that I know, like, and trust, and I've engaged with his content before, and he happened to have a video on tripods. And so I bought the one he told me to buy because he's like, this is the one that I think is best. I'm not an affiliate. I don't have an affiliate link. And I was like, good enough for me, dude. And it was a year and a half old too. Maybe there's a new tripod that's better and cheaper. I don't know. I needed to be told in that moment what to buy because I just didn't have the time to do the research myself. The information is available. AI is available. I could have set ChatGPT research on it, but I don't know how ChatGPT is necessarily pulling its information and its attributes, right? Its citations. It's all opaque. I felt more comfortable having a human that I know, like, and trust tell me this is the tripod I got and this is why I got it. Great, done. You can do that, and you can do that on a niche level in whatever industry that you're serving. And I'd ask you to niche down. Make sure that you're choosing a very specific niche. You want to be service specific, industry specific, or geographically specific. And you want to do that so that people know who it is that you're talking to and why it is that you're talking to. I'm only talking to entrepreneurs. If you're a W-2 employee, I really can't help you. If you're a freelancer or a contractor, I really can't help you. I'm talking to people who are building and growing businesses. And if you want to build and grow a business, I think you have to establish yourself as an authority, because otherwise you're in the commoditized ecosystem of proficiency, and the ecosystem of proficiency is going to be lost. We've already ceded so much ground, and AI hasn't even really made the leap into what I would believe we are going to call a functional demonstration. We've already ceded so much ground, and we haven't even made the leap into what I would call a functional demonstration of real proficiency, right? Like, we're all just dabbling with it and thinking like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. But, unless you're really good at coding, you don't have native AI bots. You don't have things that are, working for you while you sleep, but it's all coming. It's coming, and it's weeks away, days away, hours away, minutes away, depending on when you're watching this video. So the answer now is stop trying to compete against the $1 trillion supercomputers. We're not going to outrun them. them. Instead, lift yourself out of that fight. The question is no longer, how do we do what we do? The question is, what should we be doing in the first place? And if you're the one helping people ask that question, ask and answer that question, there will still be a place for you in this ecosystem. The AI, as of yet, has no desire, has no dog in the fight, no skin in the game, no reason to suggest one thing over the other until it's prompted. You do, if you're an authority, if you're willing to step into the position of authority. If you're having imposter syndrome, here's what I'll tell you. You don't need to be wildly successful. You need to be 2 steps ahead of the people that you're leading. I feel this strongly and acutely because my heroes, people that are way ahead of me, I mean, Ray Dalio wrote 3 books. Why on earth would you listen to me when the most successful hedge fund manager in the world wrote 3? Why am I even shooting content when Alex Hormozi has made 10 times the amount of money that I've made? You know, you have Patrick Bet-David who's made 3 times what Alex has made. Or there are people who have been more successful than me, so why isn't it just a zero-sum game where we all gravitate towards the absolute top of the dominance hierarchy? And the answer is obvious. It's because I actually don't have as much to learn from Ray Dalio as I do from Alex Hormozi, and I don't have as much to learn from Alex Hormozi as I do from Perry Belcher, because I'm closer to Perry than I am to Alex in terms of distance traveled, but Perry's 2 steps ahead of me. Contextually, Perry actually has more to offer me as far as where I need to go and what I need to do, because he was just there. If you're climbing a mountain, who's going to be more helpful to you? The person who's 15,000 feet ahead of you, looking back, shouting from a distance, trying to give you advice on what they remember as to where you are, or the person who's 2 yards ahead, who can actually reach back and grab you by the hand and pull you up? Or the person who's 2 yards ahead of you, who, by the way, traversed the mountain when the weather was the same, the lighting was the same, around the same time of day, right? Because the person who's already at the top of the mountain, there's been a tectonic shift since they came, or there's been a landslide, or there's been a change in, you know, migration or snowfall, or the analogy I hope isn't being stretched too thin, because I told my friend the other day, I said, I'm so glad I'm rich now, because I don't know if I'd be able to make any money in this new environment. And what does that really mean? That should pique your interest at least a little bit. The advice that I'm giving you is already at least a little obsolete. All of my money has been made pre-AI. I'm still learning how to make money in an AI environment. What's really interesting about that is my advice is less valid than somebody who hasn't made the money that I've made, but has built a functional business using AI in a post-AI environment. You need to find somebody who's 2 steps ahead of you, which means you need to teach the people that are 2 steps behind you. That's how you can establish yourself as an authority. And you don't have to step into the arena and say, like, I'm an expert, follow me. All you have to say is, hey, I'm learning, but here's what I've learned. I'm learning, and here's what I've learned. And the people that are 2 steps behind you are going to be so grateful for it. I know that because all my subscribers are people who are 2 steps behind me. They're like, this is awesome, right? Like, people can work themselves out of being relevant. I don't have the problems that billionaires have. And when they talk about their problems, I don't even know how to begin to relate. Where it is that you are relative to the people that you could help, that's the level of analysis upon which you want to establish your authority. And I think authority is going to be one of the things that helps keep us from obsolescence. So start now, start today, establish authority. And the way to establish authority is just give. Choose a forum that you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable on video. I like the sound of my own voice. I have that personality that really enjoys attention. So YouTube was great for me. Maybe you'd rather type. Maybe you're like, hey, I'm going to do long form content posts on LinkedIn, which, by the way, are fire. My business partner in Solutions 8 does that. He's the smartest Google Ads guy in the whole wide world. And every now and then he'll get real fired up and he'll just write what it is he's doing, and he throws it on LinkedIn, and he gets it spreads like wildfire. Or maybe you like to tweet and you're going to go to X now, and you know, you prefer short form little bursts of content, or you're really good on Instagram. Figure out what's comfortable for you and start sharing, start helping, start giving, start supporting. Support the people that are just 2 steps behind you. And if you do that, I think you're going to find yourself with a small but very viable community. And y'all, I'm telling you, these communities, they're mirror. I've built all my businesses on the back of communities. I built GeoFlip. We had the highest performing real estate investment campaign on the planet for 7 years. And it was built on the back of a mastermind called InvestorFuse. I built Nido Marketing, my Montessori agency, on the back of a community that I own called Montessori Thrive. I built Solutions 8 on the back of our YouTube community. We had less than 30,000 subscribers when I sold that business. And yet it helped me generate an 8-figure exit because all my best clients, and more importantly, all my best employees, came from that YouTube channel. Community is amazing, and you don't have to have great big communities. You can have multi-million-dollar businesses on the back of communities that aren't even 1,000 people strong yet, but you have to start. You have to start today. Be an authority in your space. That doesn't mean that's not an influencer, by the way. You don't have to have a San Diego beach house or a Ferrari, right? Like, just fire up your phone right now today and start giving value and let people know that are 2 steps behind you. Here's how I got to where I am now. And you don't have to lie. You don't have to make it up. You don't have to be, you know, hyperbolic or facetious or embellish. Just, this is where I am now. I haven't made $100 million yet, but I made 10, right? Like, that's not bad. If you're just breaking the 7-figure threshold, I think my advice is actually more relevant to you than somebody who's, you know, they made $100 million 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they're off trying to chase $1 billion, because the things that they do aren't relevant to me, and sure as hell aren't relevant to you. For whatever it's worth, I hope that's helpful. Start today. Build an authority. I'd love to know who's doing what. Drop it in the comments. Drop a link to whatever you're doing. Drop your YouTube channel, drop your Instagram handle, let us know where you are, and maybe this little community that we're building together can support you on your journey. I'd love to see that. That would make my day. And I'll see you in the next video.